Good morning, good evening, and good night. Ooh, what's that? So, it's all about the resurrection, and it's funny because look at who promotes homosexuality. If you look at who promotes it in a biblical way, that's one way. But let's just look at the worldly way. Hollywood, stupid American education system. Look at our education system. It's so dumb. Oh, let's have little boys sit in chairs all day. So when they're adults, they'll have no idea how to, work, take care of themselves. But it's just funny. If you just look at it like, what does Hollywood do? Hollywood is about doing whatever, eat whatever you want, do whatever you want, say whatever you want, have an abortion. You know what? I don't understand why Hollywood never does movies about abortions. It's almost like, think about all the movies that involve killing. It's okay to do movies about murderers, killing people, because, the scary man killing women and torturing women. It's okay to do movies that show torture. But we can't do a movie about abortions. Why don't we have movies that show abortions? Is it to prevent all the women from feeling guilty? And it's like, oh, you have all these women. Maybe a lot of the customers of Hollywood are women who have had abortions. And they're like, yeah, I want to watch a movie about a guy getting justice. Yeah, I want to see a movie about a superhero. And I'm like, there's a lot of women in America that have had abortions. And it's kind of funny if you think about it. Hollywood's making all these movies for them, and it's like, yeah, get the bad guy. Yeah, the bad guys are gonna get justice. And it's like, okay, but this country really isn't about justice. There's a lot of women in this, like, where are the heroes of the womb? Where are the heroes of the womb? Where are the women who said, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to save my little baby. I planned on getting an abortion. Man. Crazy. Where are the heroes that'll come and rescue the little babies in the womb? What is going on with America? And so you think about why people are gay and why homosexuality is promoted. One reason why I love the gospel is because it's the truth about how things will be forever. So in eternity, you will have a perfect body. There will be no same-sex attraction because Same-sex attraction is what it's always been. It's been a disability. It's always been something has gone wrong with the chemicals inside your body. Not right. There's not something that's going right. And so we've gotten ourselves into a quandary here. In the sense of although there are people who don't care about eternity, there's people who are like, well, I don't care about eternity. And I even look at same-sex attraction or homosexuality. Yeah, like, you might not believe in Christianity, like the whole, Christianity thing. But, is there something wrong with believing in eternity? It's kind of funny if you think about it. It's kind of funny if you think about it. If you think in terms of in order to be gay and to be happy about it, you kind of have to put this veil over you. In the Book of Mormon, the brother of Jared, in the Book of Mormon, in one of the books, it talks about we put veils over ourselves. So it's not always about like, well, we can't see God, we can't feel God's presence, we can't see heaven, we can't see eternity. And that's understandable. I can understand people who are atheists. But at the same time, the Book of Mormon is saying, hey, you choose to not see. You choose to not feel eternity. And that's interesting. I just read that today. And I think that's what has to happen if you're same-sex attracted, is you and to really just fully embrace it. And I've always thought that. I've always thought that with any kind of behavioral sin, according to the gospel, sin or transgression or whatever, it's like you don't have the eternal perspective. And you have to put a veil over your spiritual eyes. Because Jesus is going to resurrect you. You're going to live forever with Jesus if you want. Now, I think it's okay to have an eternal view and to still disagree with it, or to not like it, in the sense of like, well, I'm gay and I don't want to be straight ever. And it's like, well, what if when you're resurrected, you have a perfect body, everything's at the correct level. So your hormones, your testosterone, like, think about it. For people to change their sex, they take hormones. So don't you think, wouldn't it be okay to have a theory that maybe the reason people are same-sex attracted is It's because something's wrong with the level of the hormone. Something's wrong in their body. Maybe they have parasites. Maybe they have a lot of parasites, or maybe a lot of mercury, or are damaged by vaccines, or maybe the mom was damaged by vaccines. And you don't even have to go the route of like, oh, they're demon possessed, or they're evil, or they're sinful. It's like, no, like that's what Hollywood wants you to think. But this is so interesting. This is so awesome that we have the answer, and it's what Hollywood squashes, because Hollywood is evil. Hollywood wants to think about this. If you were a guy, think about if everyone who was same-sex attracted found out, like, what if they actually came out and said, yeah, the reason you're same-sex attracted is because there's, your mom has mercury fillings, and mercury destroys your body. It messes up with your hormones. Vaccines mess you up sexually. Vaccines are a sexual programming kind of thing. It's like sexual mess you up sexually. It's like, I think that's the truth that Hollywood is trying to hide. And that's why it's reversed on what people think is freedom. A lot of people think run away from Jesus is the way to freedom. Actually, you're running into a pit. And people think freedom is, well, I should just be gay. I should just have, a lot of Mormons are even like, yeah, we should let gay people be in church. It's like, well, that's kind of weird, because yeah, we could say it's okay to be gay, it's okay to have gay sex, but we can't ever say it's okay to have a disability in the sense of like a disability is fine, because nobody with a disability is fine with it. I had depression. I had crippling depression for many years. There was a point in my life where I couldn't get out of bed. Oh, well, we should just accept depression. We should just accept it and embrace it and glory in it. It's like, no, you don't glory in a physical problem. You just don't do that, especially if you're Jesus. Jesus didn't glory in physical problems. Go read the Old Testament. He went about, he's like, hey, you should be healthy. You should be balanced. You should be whole, physically. Your eyes should work the correct way. You should walk on water. Your legs should work properly. Your sexual organs are not working properly if you're gay. If you have same-sex attraction, your sexual organs are not working properly. And that's okay. It's okay that they're not working properly. It's not okay to say that that's great. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's super. It's like, what is going on with the adults in this world? What's going on with the people that head corporations and that head governments? They're like full retard mode. Full retard. They're so wicked. Because people's sexual organs are disabled. They're not working correct. A penis is supposed to like a vagina. We don't even need to talk about evolution or the history of men liking vaginas. It's like, that's not even the point. The point is is that the governments and the media in this world are like, oh, it's awesome. Gay is great. You know what? Isn't that great that your penis likes another penis? It's like, what? Look at the design. Look at the design of the penis. It's a long shaft. It has this thing on the top. I wonder what would be best for that design. A soft, wet, hot hole. Yeah. That puts pressure on it as you go in and out. Oh, that's like the perfect design for that. And then someone comes along, oh, you know what the perfect design for that shaft is? Another shaft. Well, no, a penis shouldn't want a penis. But I mean, I understand. Yeah, a penis wants an anus. That's how gay men have sex or whatever. But it's like blasphemy to say this is not right. Something is disabled in gay people's brains or their sexual organs, but it's not even the organ itself. I understand it's the chemicals. It's just the chemicals. And in the Mormon realm, they're like, oh well, they used to have reparative therapy and they would do electric shock. It's like, yeah, that was retarded. Like, yeah, that's hecka retarded. Well, what they should have done is just tried to get them healthy. Say, hey, let's get your magnesium levels where they should be. Let's detox if you have any heavy metals in you. We'll do the mercury detox. You maybe have too much cadmium or copper or whatever. It's like they could have at least done that and say, hey, let's see what we can do there. Maybe you're just. I mean, in general, are people who are same-sex attracted, are they healthy? What other problems do they have? Because I'm guessing that if your hormones aren't working correctly, and nobody has perfect working anything in their body. Some people do. I mean, okay, I'm maybe like the top 20% of the population. I mean, you see people out there, I mean, freaking gods walking around, everything's perfect in their body, their muscles, their bones, everything. But most people have problems. Most people, the eye's not working right, the blood pressure, the tongue's got a problem, whatever. But for some reason, and I think it's because Satan rules the world, because evil people rule the world and they don't want you to know the truth. For some reason, when it comes to the sexual organs, we can't talk about what's wrong. What's wrong with you that you're a man and you don't want to have sex with a woman? That's wrong. And I'm not talking theologically or spiritually. I'm saying that's wrong just if you're healthy. If you are same-sex attracted, you're not healthy. It's not your spirit. I understand there are some people who will have gay sex just because they want to have sex with anybody. Like they'll have sex with a woman, they'll have sex with multiple people. I understand that there's people that are straight who choose to have gay sex. So I'm just talking about the people who are born into this world, this messed up, toxic world, who they have so many toxins in their body that they just grow up, they're attracted to the same sex. But maybe inside, maybe if they were born into a healthier body that was normal, maybe they would have been happier, because they would have been happy to be normal sexually. So this is just messed up. This is messed up, and I don't know what's gonna happen. In terms of Well, in terms of what? I don't even know what I'm saying. But you got, and I'm involved in this because I had toxicity from mercury fillings that caused me to be depressed and have food issues and stuff like that. I think the gospel of Jesus is it's teaching us to always have the ideal. So physically, family, relationally, honestly, helping others, being willing to suffer for others. It's like the gospel is always there to give us the ideal. And it's okay if we don't have the ideal now in certain things, especially the physical. Like Jesus is there and he's like, hey, here's the ideal physically. You shouldn't lust for another one. You should be loyal to your spouse. You should, eat right. And then, if you're paralyzed, you should be healed. Jesus healed people. So he taught that spirituality goes along with health, with physical power. But think about the connection there. His spirituality gave him the physical power to heal, to make people healthy in their bodies. I really love that connection in the gospel, the connection between spiritual power and physical power. You can't separate them in the gospel of Jesus. If you're strong spiritually, you're going to be strong physically. And I'm not saying, you're not going to have physical problems. It's just, if you have strong spirit, it's going to manifest some way in your body. I mean, you could even be a cripple and it can still manifest somehow. So I'm not saying you're going to be healthy if you're spiritual. But with Jesus, his healings were a prophetic looking to the future of what's going to happen to everybody. So everybody's going to have a perfect body and be healed.